This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
It's insane because having that little bubble under there will make me insane. It
will make you insane. Yeah, exactly. Oh, the little one, for his birthday, which was on the 17th, we got him a very expensive gift of an Apple Watch because he doesn't have any mobile devices or anything. His best friend has an Apple Watch. We want to be able to track him. He's going out on his own, yada, yada, yada. He turned 11 on Friday. Monday he came home and the fucking screen is cracked all the way through, straight down the middle.
And you didn't get Apple Care yet?
I do have Apple Care. I've got Apple Care 1, so it's on my Apple Care 1. But
good luck with the Apple Care, by the way. I will tell you that the Apple Care, I think, is bullshit because my screen on my phone had a scratch on it and they wouldn't do anything about it. They said, oh, that's cosmetic. We don't cover things that are cosmetic. It's only if it interferes with using the product. And I'm like, well, then why did I spend $180 on this? So don't buy Apple Care. That is my message to everybody out there now that I've started the show. I have to let her know when we start the show.
I'm surprised you didn't take 2 steps out the front and just hurl it at the pavement and then come back in.
It bothered me enough that I sold that phone and bought the same exact phone and now have put a screen protector on it, which I should have done in the first place. But yeah, Apple Care, it's a ripoff and they should be better about that.
Speaking about buying exactly the same thing, my car that I've had for 5 years and that I own, all of a sudden, all of these errors started lighting up. Driver assist, check this, check that. The cameras were turning on and off. These little indicators when the mirrors were folding in. It looked like it was feeling like the computer was going to shit itself. One of my sons cracked the back rear screen for entertainment, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I dropped the eldest one off at school, called Robert the drug runner, and I said, I think this car is going to shit itself any minute now. I want a new car right now. And so I went and picked him up and went out, saw what they had in stock. I was like, yeah, let's look at that one. The guy's like, do you want to drive it? And I'm like, no, thanks. I'd rather not. Then we were like, all right, we'll take this car. How much will you give us in the trade-in for this? And we did intend to tell them all the things that were wrong with it.
Right.
But it just never came up. And
you don't need to feel guilty about that whatsoever.
Well, I felt like that was a little bit dodgy because I was like, we should tell them that one of the screens is cracked. We should tell them that the computer is on the fritz or whatever. But it just never came up.
And it's their job to check that and give you the deal that they're going to give you and guaranteed they made money anyway. So.
Yeah, right. And they did go and check it. They drove it through the machine. They plugged it into their little doot and all that sort of stuff. It gave us a good trade-in. And we drove away in a different car and I've never been so happy.
It's a good, content peace of mind feeling that you have in your head, right? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And at the time, as we were driving away, I did say to my husband, because I had to leave part of the way through to go and pick up the kids, I said, did you mention to him how fucked the other car was? And he just said, yeah, never came up.
It's their job to check it out. You don't need to mention it. Yeah, I wouldn't lie about it, but I wouldn't mention it either. So anyway.
I mean, I felt dodgy. Anyway,
we're into the show. I'm Stu. Woo! She's Emily.
Caw-caw.
How's everybody?
Living the dream. I feel fantastic. My house is getting clean.
We've got a new same car.
It is not biblically hot.
Yeah. We have no space echo this week. I wanted to talk about that from last week. Hopefully nobody out there noticed, but last week I had a whole technical situation going on when I went to edit the show. There is a button that when I press it, it sends Emily's voice back to her so that when she talks, she hears herself, and it also records that on her track. So it is a nightmare. And like, just as an example, I have it on now. How have you been this week?
I've been great. Coming live to you from the bottom of a well.
Yeah. So nobody should be able to talk through that. And I'm wondering, what is up with your brain? Because that should be so distracting that you can't deal with it. It's called technically slapback. And I can't talk through slapback. And it hurts your head because it throws you off just so much. Last week, I had that button on and you didn't say anything for the entire show. And we just went through it. and you dealt with it. Maybe that is your weird superhero power. I have no way how we're going to utilize that. She's slapback girl, but what the hell?
I don't know. I think I have an innate ability to just get on with stuff. I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so after
Which is good. We talked about that.
Yeah, and so after a little while of it happening, I just went, fuck it. This is what we're doing. Party on, Wayne.
Well, we now have a pre-show checklist that looks for all these little things, which is just genius after all these years that I'm coming up with that. But I went, and it was just a nightmare to edit because
I'm so sorry.
It's my own fault. I should look for that button. But anytime you were talking, I then have to manually delete the other track or one of the tracks so there's not that echo. And then anytime we cross over, I have to match the waves up exactly so there's not echo. So it took me forever last week, and I was willing to do it. But Jesus Christ, Space Echo girl.
You should have just cut me out as much as possible.
Just make it a talk-along show. I'll give everybody a script with the show, and they can pretend that they're a part of the show and just insert your lines manually.
Yeah, exactly. I think it would be particularly entertaining if we wrote out everything that I say verbatim and made people say it. Everything. Exactly. Including the sounds.
Interactive podcasting. That is the next big wave of the future.
I'd love for people to send us some voice notes so that we can play them on the show.
Yeah. 818-570-0753. You could do that if you wanted to. I am also reminded by people a couple times this week that if you like this show, you should like and follow and subscribe and rate the show. You can go on Apple Podcasts and write a nice review and tell your friends how much we don't suck and do all that. I don't promote that very often because I feel like, hey, look at me. And that's the modern thing to do these days. And it just seems scummy, and I often don't do it, but I probably should do it more because we're not doing this for our health, except we kind of are. So
we kind of are for our mental health.
Yeah, exactly. So the No Kings protest happened this week again, the second one. 7 million people worldwide.
Amazing.
I went out to our local one here, and this is rich Orange County, lots of retired old people. I guess I could say the city. It was at Laguna Woods, and that's a total retirement community. And it was funny after the fact trying to see the MAGA-tards trying to minimize it and say how much it wasn't a thing when 7 million people worldwide showed up. Just in my little area, there were 4,000 registered people that showed up. That's not counting people like me that didn't register in the email and just showed up to show up. And I feel like the message is getting out there, but I also feel like he just doesn't care. And he's so demented and old that no part of this is getting through to his head. And then there was the AI fighter jet thing
yes,
with
I was
him
about to say that.
dropping shit on everybody. And I feel like I'm kind of encouraging him to be an asshole these days. I feel like I'm just going, no, keep fucking up, keep pissing off everyone because you are going to run out of people that you haven't pissed off. And then in a year and a few months now, it's all going to start to come to fruition when we vote your terrible people out.
AOC said something, and I'm going to paraphrase because she's much more eloquent. But I thought that her message was incredibly powerful. She's making a comment about the president, saying, if you didn't vote for him, he doesn't think that you matter. He doesn't think that he is your president, and he doesn't care about what happens to you. But an elected official, she said, and as an elected official, I don't care if you voted for me or not. I am still going to do my absolute best to represent everyone's needs, give everyone the best possible service, and, represent the constituents. I thought that was very interesting because I'd never heard that articulated so clearly before. And I think it's always registering in my brain what's happening. But I think that she just capped it off beautifully. I was like, oh, wow.
That is well put.
So
I would even take it a step further and say that it's not even whether or not you voted for him. I would say that if you're a person that can't do something for him, then you don't matter, because he's clearly pissing off his own people. And all these Rust Belt state people that voted for him are now getting screwed based on his economy. And he's selling beef to Argentina, and the beef farmers here are pissed off. And one by one, I feel like just keep pissing off everybody. It's kind of what we need. It's one of those situations where I think everything needs to get really terrible before it can get good again, because people need to be slapped into reality.
I feel sad and sorry. And I know you've told me before that you don't, but about the people who were so desperate for change that they thought that this was their only option. They were so disenchanted with the machine.
But I have to ask, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but what had them so desperate for change? I mean, I know we were kind of struggling a little bit economically, but nothing was that bad. We were coming back from badness. Things were on the uprise. And I think the reason things were so terrible was not because they were so terrible. It's because they were told they were so terrible.
Right. And I think that this country does an incredibly heinous job. Well, I'm using the wrong turn of phrase there, but they pit poor people of different races against one another to try and make it seem like certain people are taking other people's jobs, or that people are poor because of these other people. They can't afford medicines. We have bad health care and all of those different things. And I think that puts people in this cycle of desperation. And reasonably so, I think that has people going, oh my gosh, we need something to be different. I should be able to take my kids to the hospital and not go into debt for the rest of our lives. The insulin I need for my kids shouldn't be so expensive. And the terrible irony of it is it's gone in the completely wrong direction than what I think some people were hoping for.
In my mind, it was big corporate America and big business causing all this, then blaming it on the administration that was trying to change all this, and media manipulation and all of that. And this goes in completely to a thing I attended last night electronically. There's that Jane Fonda Committee for Free Speech, and they had a meeting last night, and I am on that and watching this woman talk about how she was kicked out of the Philippines and her own country, and she was a Nobel Prize winner. And it's really interesting the way they manipulate, and I got educated on that last night. And I'm on that committee, and I'm going to go to meetings and pass on whatever I can pass on here, because there's really good information to glean to everybody. And now more than ever, we need to start looking at what we need to do to fix things. And the first step in that is getting new leadership. So
I think for anybody who is still on the fence or still confused, and if you're any kind of rock person, this is the machine that we were taught to rage against. Now is the time.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Play that song a lot.
Yep. And, you know, some of those that burn crosses are the same that hold office.
Yep.
It has been very clear in what's happening with ICE.
I was never a huge fan of that band. I like them okay, but why have they not gotten back together to rage? God damn it. They should be doing that, Tom Morello and the other guy.
Yeah, because Tom's now working for Donald Trump. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
If ever there was an untruth.
Yeah, exactly. No way. It's just insane. I was very happy to see the turnout. And also, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've seen it floating around. Following the occupation of Portland and the protest, apparently inflatable frog suits have been classified as Antifa uniforms.
You guys wear your Nazi uniforms. We'll dress up as frogs. That sounds good.
That sounds good. And I saw a shirt that was just so awesome. And it was a line of SWAT team members and riot police and a little frog out the front dancing. Because if you watch the videos from Portland, It's just people in inflatable costumes having a rave.
Yep.
Literally having a rave.
Yep. It points out what exactly is going on, that they are encroaching upon our cities and trying to create a regime, and people are battling them peacefully. And I was out at the event Saturday, and I wanted to bring up this point and see what you thought about this. I didn't get any interviews because it felt like more of just what I did last time, and I felt like we covered it. And it was people saying, yeah, fuck this isn't right. But I met this woman named Helen, and she was this old British lady, and she had me take a picture of her and her sign, and she just had the most interesting story. She has dual citizenship, but loves this country and protests a lot and has a very loud voice, and she protested back in the 60s, and she is also very frustrated by our current generation and was talking about all the apathy and how they just don't seem to care, and she doesn't know what to do to reach them. And when I said to her, can I talk to you for my podcast, she wouldn't do it. She wasn't like, oh my God, I'm afraid to be investigated or anything. I didn't get that sense. It felt like she was afraid to talk on the mic. And I was like, God damn it, Helen. I didn't say it like that. And I wasn't even really pushing her that hard. But it felt like you're saying all these things and you have a chance to make a difference now. This could really make a difference and get the message out to people to not be apathetic and speak up and do the right thing. And you won't do that. And it seems like that's kind of apathy in itself. You know what I mean? And I didn't push her hard because she was this sweet old lady, but I said, well, yeah, don't you think if you talked about it, this would come out? And, oh, I just don't want to do it. And oh, God damn it, Helen. So don't be a Helen, but do be a Helen.
And depending on how old she is, and she may not want to be embarrassed, she may not have or even know where to start to participate on a podcast. For you and I, it's simple, it's straightforward.
Well, I was talking about just interviewing her there. I wanted to record her there. And she had it completely together and concise. And like I said, just the greatest talker and the best story ever and the best example. And God damn it, Helen. If you're listening, I told her the name of the show. God damn it, Helen.
Oh, not God damn it, Helen, but we miss you, Helen. Join us, Helen. We need you, Helen. Your country needs you, Helen. The interesting thing, and tell me what you think about this, because just now when you're telling me Helen's story, there's been a lot of rhetoric about how if you weren't born in this country, then you're not a true American. And if your parents weren't American, then maybe we should remove birthright citizenship. I feel like for those of us who have chosen this country, we weren't just born here. We had to come here. We pay taxes. We've made a life for ourselves and our families here. We love this country and we feel American. It's really important to us. Why is that seen as less than? Whereas I would think it's a little bit more than. You know, if you've got the chance to go somewhere else, or if you, I don't know. Well, I'm interested.
I think you're right. I think it is, you are slightly more than. I have a lot of respect for anybody that comes to this country and doesn't just have it handed to them and fights for citizenship and goes through all that testing and all the red tape to become a citizen in this country. The issue is that it's not just you with them. It is everyone. Even people that are born citizens of this country, their attitude is if you don't like it, get the fuck out. You're here and you disagree with us, get the fuck out. That is their entire attitude. And if you don't love it, leave it. And the truth is, I don't love this country right now. I'm very embarrassed about it. Doesn't mean I don't have a right to be here. Doesn't mean I'm not going to fight to bring it back. But the bottom line is, it's just if you disagree with them, you shouldn't be a part of this country.
What kind of country?
And if anything, you're easier because you weren't born here. You're an easier target.
Yeah, exactly. And what are we going to do with all the people who don't love it right now, but were born here and whose parents were born here? And there's millions of them.
And really, if we're going to do this, let's just send back everybody that isn't Native American. If we're going to look at it that way, everybody except Native Americans has to get the fuck out.
Did you hear about the story of a Native American woman who was pulled over and asked to prove that she was American, and she pulled out her nation ID.
Yep.
The ICE agents refused to acknowledge it, saying that it wasn't real ID.
Oh, my God. And then she screamed at him and told him to fuck off. I think I saw the tail end of this video. Yeah. I'm more American than you piece of shit.
Yeah. Absolutely outrageous. And then, this was fantastic. It all happened down in Florida. A drunk Department of Homeland Security ICE agent was driving his 2 kids in the car whilst drunk, got pulled over, and tried to pull the old, "Don't you know who I am? I'm DHS." And they asked him for ID, and he said, "I don't have it." And they arrested him.
Saw that one too. These are the good things that keep you going throughout the week. And very satisfying when people are fighting back. And I'll make the point again really quick. I know I beat it to death, but local law enforcement ought to be protecting us. And I'll say that again. And it's not happening. And it has to happen eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, moving on from the political thing now.
Yeah, let's.
I can tell you this story. The news kind of sucks, so we'll just talk about whatever, and I have a couple stories, but I can tell you that this week I was not a complete asshole, and I was pretty proud of that, and you can judge me, and judge me as, oh, maybe I will be your savior. You know, look at me and go, oh, it's Stu. I was out for a bike ride one evening. I went in the evening because I had just finished editing last week's show and it was now nighttime. And I was like, holy Christ, it's late. I haven't done my bike ride. So I go out and I'm going around the block and I smell gas. And I'm like, holy crap, I smell gas. And I talk to another guy that's walking. I go, do you smell that? He goes, yeah, I smelt it on my way coming over. I'm like, well, I'm going to call the gas company. So I got back and called them. And they said, okay, we'll send somebody out. And then the following morning, I went out for my morning bike ride, and they hadn't dealt with it yet. And as I turned the corner, there's a big gas truck there. And I see 2 guys, and I said, hey, just wondered, is there a gas leak here? I'm the one that reported it last night. And that guy goes, oh, yeah, big leak. Thanks for reporting it. And the other guy goes, way to go, brother. And I said, well, I just don't like to see my neighborhood get blown up. I was just looking out for everybody. I wish people would let us know. And I said, okay, cool. So that felt good. And I bring that up to show to everybody that, hey, if you're smelling gas, it's bad. It's a problem. I remember when I lived up in LA, places literally blew up and you don't want your neighborhood blowing up. So call them and they will deal with it. So then what I did too, feeling good, is I just started going up to neighbors and saying, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Was knocking on doors. You're welcome. I didn't tell them why I was saying you're welcome because I didn't want to brag. So I just went around and self-aggrandized myself, handling it that way. So I'll hail me. I am your savior.
Oh my goodness. Up until that part of the story, I was like, wow, way to go, brother.
I don't like gas anyway. I don't want gas in my home, but we have gas burners on the stove, and I would rather have electric. It's not good for you.
If you smell something, say something, I think is the motto.
Well, you've kind of jumped to my punchline here.
Oh, did I? Look at me.
Great minds.
If you get something,
yeah.
step all over Stu's punchline.
Here, you know, Emily, part of this is marketing, and we need to get out there to the people that when things like this go bad, and to be fair, I could have gotten to it sooner, but we need to make other people look out for this. So I've come up with a big promo slogan, a big marketing slogan for the gas company, and it's because before, it's if you see something, say something. So I came up with, if you see something, say gas.
Say gas.
Yeah, if you see something, say gas. Or if you see gas, say gas is even better.
Yeah, if you're being sexually assaulted at a park, you should scream out fire instead of rape.
Well,
apparently
that's what they told people in the 70s when women were getting raped. Yeah, it happened.
Crazy. So. You know that smell of gas? If you look at History Time.
Well, it's added because gas has no smell, and they add that so that you will know that there is a problem. I know my gas facts.
Exactly. Do you know what precipitated that what the huge tragedy was and when it was?
I do not, but give us that gas fact.
Gas facts. March 18th, 1937, there was a gas leak in the New London School in New London in Texas. And it was a very, very long time ago. So
this all started in Texas. Everything bad happens in Texas.
it was very, very bad. There was a natural gas leak in the basement of this school, and the whole thing blew up and killed nearly 300 students and teachers. It was absolutely shocking to the entire nation. And then the government passed a new law requiring that natural gas be odorized. And then time goes on, and then sort of 50s, 60s, gas companies kind of self-regulate and decide to just do the right thing.
So they don't get their asses sued off. That's the only time they do the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. But then really in 1970 is when the Department of Transportation issued the first federal regulations on gas pipeline safety, including odorization. So isn't that insane? 1970s, which doesn't feel that long ago.
It's not that long ago. And even if you go back to when that blow up first happened, it seemed like they would have had that figured out before a bunch of school kids got killed.
Right? And then it wasn't until the 1990s, which, if anybody asked me, it was only 10 years ago in my mind.
It's hard to do that math. Wait, that Guns N' Roses record came out when?
Yeah, when was Appetite for Destruction massive? And that Cypress Hill album, I remember all of that. They started to institute specific levels of odorization because there was no consistent standard. 1990s. Imagine how many things went on before then.
Well, and here's the thing, too, and I think I'm right about this, but I don't think it is the natural gas that causes health problems. I think it is the chemicals that they add for the smell that cause the health problems and can cause pancreatic cancer and all kinds of shit. That's my understanding of it anyway. And it's weird and paranoid, and I'll share this about myself. We have a gas stove, and I will not use it. I have an electric hot plate that I've set next to the stove, and that is how I cook because I've heard just so many bad things about gas stoves and all of that, and I just don't even want to be a part of it.
Wow.
Remember when I didn't have ass cancer, I'm pretty convinced that it is because I don't use a gas stove. That makes sense in my head.
I think it's because you don't eat bacon.
But
what do I know? I
don't cook bacon on a gas stove.
Nor ingest it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That is interesting. And I think this is another example of where on some things you and I are polar opposites.
Yeah.
I will not live in a house that doesn't have a gas stove because, as you know, bitch loves to cook.
I know it's good for cooking, but...
It's good for cooking. But I do have an electric oven.
Yeah. Just bake everything then.
Yeah, I do bake a lot. Do you know what I baked this morning at 6:30?
Muffins.
Pancakes, because fuck cooking them
Yeah.
in the pan. I know you're supposed to. I know the hint is in the name. But my new hack for life is put them in a Pyrex and bake it in the oven. They don't burn. They're perfect every time. They're deliciously fluffy, and they're easy to portion out because you just cut them into little squares.
How big a Pyrex do you have, though? It seems like you would need an enormous Pyrex with the pancakes spread out.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't put them into little circles. I pour the whole thing in like a cake.
Well, that's an important detail of the story.
Yeah,
Pancakes.
I love how you...
You're literally making a pancake. A pancake.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, taking it off the hob and into the oven for a time and consistency hack. And they taste like pancakes. Obviously, they're square because I whip them out and they're square. But they taste like pancakes. They're great, and they don't have the burnt edges or, you know how the first pancake's always just like a little bit weird?
Yeah.
Almost like a first child? Yeah.
Something to do with heat and the grease and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then they start to stick. None of that. I've done away with all of the quality control problems and just skip straight to cooking them in
You
the
may
oven.
have just started an enormous cooking trend.
It's so good. And then if you're busy in the morning, as I am, you just set a little timer and you can go and do other things. You know, pancakes, if you take your eye off them, they'll get up to mischief. And so you have to stand by the pan the whole time.
Mischievous pancakes.
Mischievous pancakes.
You could probably do an entire pancake big and save it for future days. Put it in the fridge covered, and on future days, feed your kids.
Exactly.
Oh.
You've been reading my diary, Stu. And you know what you can do is I put little fruits in different squares. So blueberries over here, strawberries over here, white chocolate chips here, semi-sweet chocolate chips over there, little swirl of jam or whatever. And then we've got a bunch of different types of pancakes in the same pan, and you can just cut them up.
How do you feel about the giving your kids candy with their pancakes, though?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Because do you have maple syrup on your pancakes?
I usually get the sugar-free maple syrup if I have pancakes. I haven't had pancakes in years. And then the other day, interesting thing, I went to the demonstration and I went to a nearby restaurant and had gluten-free something pancakes that were actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah, good. Trader Joe's has the best pancake mix. It is the ube mochi gluten-free pancake mix. And when it's cooked, it's purple. It's slightly sweet, so you don't need a lot of stuff in it. It's the best pancakes. Do yourself a flavor. Go and get the ube mochi pancakes and cook them in the oven.
And, you know, interesting thing, as I was sitting there eating my cafe gluten-free fruit pancakes that were very good, I said, this is very good, but I would like it more if it was just one enormous pancake, not multiple small ones. Who can fix this in the world? And there, now you've gone and done it. That's what's happened there. It's yay you.
Yeah, you. Speaking of pancakes, as we know, the little one turned 11, and he loves pancakes, and he loves breakfast, and he loves breakfast restaurants. So we took him down to a restaurant, an egg restaurant, and he got off the menu a massive stack of like cinnamon roll, cinnamon swirl pancakes, like 3 the size of a dinner plate. He could only eat a quarter of it. Anyway, they knew it was his birthday. They brought out a plate. There was a little candle on it. It was super adorable. He blew out the candle. You know what it was? A fucking stack of pancakes.
And you said, wait, I've got a regular birthday pancake at home. Let me go get it.
But I just thought the sheer volume of pancakes that they were trying to put into a small child was almost criminal. It was just more pancakes.
I think pancakes are a thing that it's just accepted that you can just be a goddamn glutton on. Because when I got mine Saturday, they were big. They were like, what is this, 8, 9 inches? 8 or 9 inches across. And there were like
Frisbee.
3 or 4 of them, and they were thick. I'm like, that's a lot of goddamn pancakes. And then I ate every single bit of it. And I only felt mildly sick.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
In our house,
Well, they were
we've
gluten-free,
never
you know.
finished. We've never gluten-free.
Yeah.
We've never finished the Frisbee stack of pancakes. We always get a box, and then he will continue to reheat the pancakes and eat them over several days.
Do they have all-you-can-eat pancakes near you?
Not in any place that I would go.
Because that would be a good way to go and like hide some and take a bunch home with you.
Oh, wow. It's like keeping your key inside a rock, or in a garden full of similar rocks, or your key in a bucket of similar unmarked keys next to the front door in case you need to get it in an emergency.
I don't get the correlation, but okay. I'll go with you.
Smuggling pancakes into...
the smuggling part, I get.
Yeah, it's
okay.
the smuggling part and hiding things in a place full of the same thing.
Do you think that burglars go overturning rocks when they're trying to break into a place?
Yes.
See, so that's probably a bad idea, that under the rock thing.
Yeah. Although, speaking about rocks, you know, theme parks, you're not fooling anyone with the speakers and the rocks.
Right.
Let me just go out there. They look nothing like rocks. But some of those little key hidey rock things are kind of convincing.
Yeah, we have one hidden, and there's a wall around where if I get a little boost, I can go up on the top of the wall and grab a key, and I'm convinced that I'm safe because of that. So
I highly recommend you get a boop, boop, boop keypad entry.
first off, I love the audio demonstration of boop, boop, boop. I should get a boop, boop, boop. That would mean I'd have to install it, though, and I don't need to. Oh, but then I'll tell you this. I had a toilet situation where it was doing the thing where you would flush it, and it wouldn't go down all the way, and you have to flush multiple times. In addition to saving the neighborhood from gas destruction, I installed a new toilet flow valve this week on my own, just looking at YouTube. I'm very proud again. My arrogance is fake. I'm not really this full of myself, but still.
I think that's very important, and that's very competent. And think about how much money you saved doing that. I had a similar experience last week with Roman blinds.
And before you tell that story, I will tell you I can tell you exactly how much I saved because I had a guy do the one downstairs, the handyman. He charged me $125. Plumber wanted $200. I did it for $15.
See, that is what I am talking about. And
your blinds.
And not just the blinds, but just in general. And we've been talking to our sons about it too. And we're probably psychos. Well, definitely psychos. But we keep talking to them about not being useless. You need to be able to do at least a few things yourself. Now, they can cook, they can clean, they can do that sort of stuff. But you need to be confident in your ability to figure shit out. And you will save yourself so much money if you, for example, fix your own flow in the toilet. And so as a part of this practice what I preach nonsense, because now I'm breaking myself into prison. Now I've got to be fixing shit around the house. And so we have these Roman blinds in our kitchen that are bamboo, and they have been twisted as fuck and all decrepit and sort of half hanging down for multiple years.
Yeah.
There's 6 of them. There's 6 big windows. Anyway, I finally watched a video on YouTube and realized how easy it would be to fix it. So all it took was some fishing line that I stole from one of the kids' fishing rods and about an hour, and I was able to fix our blinds, and now they still hang there proudly covered in kitchen grease. Maybe I'll clean them after I fix them, but
that'll be the next project. There's some kind of thing you can learn on YouTube about just doing it, and you don't have to scrub, and it'll be a whole wonderful thing. And those are very satisfying moments when you can do those, and you feel so proud. Look what I did with that toilet valve.
Yeah, I did a thing.
Look at the blinds that I have now hung, and they're even. Yeah, do you get out a level when you do that?
I do.
There you go.
I also get out a level to inspect other people's work, which really
that is very
upsets
taskmaster of you. Hang on, let me get my level.
Well, you're a very particular person.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm also a very particular person, and I used to work in design, so I can pick up things that aren't aligned from quite a distance. And my kids have inherited this really shitty trait. So we recently got new cabinet doors put on in our kitchen, and they'd installed the knobs. One of my sons took 2 steps into the kitchen, and I was carrying bags, not paying attention, and he pointed and he goes, "Those are misaligned." And I was like, "Shut up, they are not." And they were.
Oh.
And every single one was. We have knobs. They were up, down, side to side, everything. I got the level out. I was taking photos. I was having a full-blown brain explosion. I was very dissatisfied. I had freaked out. Of course, I didn't put that in text message. I just harumphed around my kitchen in a death spiral. And then I sent a very polite message saying, "I'm sure you have a plan for this, but I just wanted to let you know, here's 15 photos of these things with the level in the photo."
They are expecting that people are not going to notice, and many people don't notice, and that's how they get away with it. It is fixated people like you and me that keep the world going.
Yeah, and so they were back. 2 days later.
There you go.
And they fixed it. And they did a great job. And I'm very pleased.
Enough of this bullshit, America. We've got stuff leveled.
Yeah. Get a level. Also, Ryobi make these little laser level cubes.
I have one.
Aren't they the best?
I have the one that sucks onto your wall. You start the motor and it sucks onto your wall and gives you a laser light so you know what's leveled. That's really great.
For the hardcore DIYers, like here on Total Balance, you need that little tool.
We can fix little things around the house and we're damn proud of it. And this is a whole other podcast.
Yep, exactly.
I'm sure nobody's done it before.
Yard work. I got an idea. I got a new business idea for us.
Okay.
Do you know what we hate on the show?
Many things.
But when it comes to yard
there's
work,
a lot of
what
hate
do you
in the show.
hate the most about gardeners?
Picking up dog shit. The lawn blower things. That's the answer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The leaf blowers.
Yeah.
Business idea.
All right.
Rakes. Just only rakers. Just
Why do they not just rake? You're right.
And it's a whole squad of people and they only rake. They're not all up in your business with a blower. They're not blowing you off. They're just raking.
This feels like something that in a classy country like Japan, they do anyway. Like it feels like in Japan, they probably don't have leaf blowers and they probably just rake out of respect to their other citizens. And we've just never bothered to have that same respect in this country.
Absolutely. Or some kind of lawn vacuum that is not gas propelled, something that's a little bit more gentle. What's Tesla doing? They're making fucking shit cars and Cybertrucks. Why don't they get on the silent lawn equipment train?
I think that would still be a thing because they have electric ones and the electric ones are still loud. That's what I've noticed anyway.
Yes, the electric leaf blowers. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. They are still quite noisy. But there has to be a better way. Even if I think about, that technology, I don't know if you had them, but when I was growing up, the little barrel push mowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if that was attached to some sort of bag and you just like...
You're right. All that needs is a bag on the side to collect. And that seems like a good way to go because you're getting a workout too and you're saving the environment. And I think this is a good way to go. But then most people that have lawns don't care and are rich and are just going to pay somebody to do it anyway. That audience is going to be hard to reach, I think.
I wonder if there is beef between Big Rake and Big Gas.
Oh, they go at each other constantly with sabotage and they have people in each other's factories. And the rake people, last I heard, they were in the leaf blower factory and there was a little chip that they put in the thing so it would stop working after 6 months. That's a rumor I heard.
Oh, speaking of planned obsolescence,
Yeah.
light bulbs. You know light bulbs?
They're the biggest scam in the history of this country.
Biggest fucking scam in the history
Look
of
at us with
histories.
our common knowledge.
Yeah, so this is important that everybody knows this because we're getting ripped off.
Yep.
Light bulbs, when they were invented, would last 100 years.
More than you would ever live. They're meant to be that way. But,
Exactly. However, Big Light.
yeah, Big Light got together and they all met. Literally, they all
Literally.
had meetings.
Yeah, they literally had meetings and
Yeah.
decided to put in planned obsolescence so that we would have to buy more light globes.
There was no money in what they were doing, designing and having a fine product. So they decided to get together and screw everybody that buys light bulbs. It's amazing.
It's amazing. So if you read your light bulb packet, it will say amazing things on it, like 4,000 hours or 10,000 hours. And pay attention because literally the light will go out after it has reached its set period, give or take a day or so or whatever. But it is telling you when it will die.
Yep. Think about that screw job. And one day in our utopian society, when we've cleaned up the environment, that will be one of the things, because that will help all the production and going into light bulbs. That would help save part of the earth at least. So
Yeah. What else should we go back in time with? Because I feel like a lot of our ideas are just back in my day. I feel like it's sort of, there's so many things that are just not original thoughts, but it's just like, hey, we used to do this better.
The idea of disagreeing with somebody politically or even just their general ideas and not being a complete asshole and trying to ruin them, I like those days. We could go back to that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I did enjoy that.
Even if it was a fuck you asshole and moving on, we can't do that anymore. It's got to be much more involved and drawn out.
Yeah, it's got to be much more involved, although we'd have to go quite the ways back. I know we're coming up on Halloween. Do you know what the Salem witch trials were actually about?
Religion?
Yes.
Okay.
And land and wealth.
Because witches own stuff and other people wanted to own stuff? Is that what it is?
So you may or may not be familiar with the fact that there are multiple versions of the Bible.
Yeah.
And
most of them crap.
And I'm going to get some of these facts wrong, but one of the primary versions that is used here in the United States is the King James version of the Bible. Before King James wrote that version of the Bible, he actually wrote another book called Demonology that was largely about demonizing women and about the existence of witchcraft, yada, 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 and all of this sort of stuff. The Salem witch trials, there was a pattern around the women that were convicted or burnt at the stake as witches, and you can even see that today in modern interpretations of what witches are, and I'm doing the little quotey fingers. Witches were often older women, widows, and that lived alone. You know that trope that you read about in books?
Right.
The church or the neighbors wanted people's land and their wealth. Back in the day, women could not own property or inherit wealth or anything unless it was given to them, passed down through their family or passed down from their husband. A lot of women who were convicted of witchcraft and drowned or burnt, they were widows. Or
with all that land and stuff.
Yeah,
that could be.
Exactly. Or they were from wealthy families who didn't have any sons, and their neighbors in the church wanted what they had. And what way to get it faster than to convince people that she was a witch?
Well, that's all very convenient, isn't it?
Isn't it? Well, not for the ladies.
And wait, let me get this other fact straight. You're telling me that all those witches they burned at the stake, those weren't real witches?
I don't know if all of them were. Could you believe it? But I want to go to Salem.
It's probably not the same. I don't think they're still doing that.
Damn it.
Yeah. So we should get to at least one news story. This has been around for a couple weeks, and I just find this interesting. This is a story from ABC News, World News Tonight. If there is a disaster or a fire, you probably want a fireman that is qualified to be the one to save you, right?
No, I don't. I just want a hot, sexy fireman.
Okay, no shirt, that sort of thing.
OH&S violation.
But he doesn't qualify for other firefighter stuff. Tell me if you would want this guy out saving people.
Tonight in Houston, the man determined to become a firefighter, but terrified of heights. And the firefighters determined...
Just right off the bat, the very premise that this guy is even going through training, he's afraid of heights, and they're showing him on the side of a building starting to edge off to where he's going to rappel down, and he just can't even do it. He can't deal. At that point, I would say maybe he's disqualified. You're great, but it's not going to work out.
He's also afraid of fire and confined spaces.
That would be even better.
Elevators, horrified.
Hey, this is the job for you.
Become a firefighter, but terrified of heights. And the firefighters determined to help get him there.
Hear him yelling.
For years now, Avion Anderson has wanted to be a firefighter to serve his community.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Is his name Avion?
I believe
As in, like,
it is.
fucking bird? Birdman?
How ironic. The ultimate ironic. I didn't pick up on that, but let's see. I think you're right.
For years now, Avion Anderson has wanted to be a
Birdman!
Listen, Birdman who's
Birdman.
afraid of heights. Yeah, let's make you a fireman.
Wow.
Firefighters determined to help get him there. For years now, Avion Anderson has wanted to be a firefighter to serve his community, working full-time at Sheldon Community Fire and Rescue. The fire department requires a rope rescue certification in the event someone in distress needs to be lowered from a tall building using a rescue basket.
Okay.
The problem is, Avion has a fear of heights.
Again, just how does it even get to this point? And he's just screaming in the background that he's having to do this.
Rescue basket.
Okay.
The problem is, Avion has a fear of heights, but he refused to let that stop him from achieving his dream. Day one of training, it was rough. This is Avion. His fellow firefighters telling him, "You got this."
Barely on
Is he
the
in a
edge.
prison shower or does he have a basket, boo-boo? We don't know.
Prison shower he might enjoy more. He's going off the edge of this building little by little and just about to shit himself. I'm convinced of it.
Oh, poor Birdman.
He wants to do it, Avion.
Firefighters telling him, "You got this."
All right, I'm good.
Making it a few steps down and then joking, "Can I come back up?"
This is good. Now I come up.
Yeah, when you're saving somebody and they're gonna burn to death, just ask if you can come back up.
Oh!
Day two, Avion back at it. This time strapped in the rescue basket so his fellow trainees could practice lowering him to safety. Not fun for Avion.
Oh!
Day three. Avion now hanging while strapped in that rescue basket. His fellow firefighters, you can hear them encouraging him.
Oh my God!
You're doing good, bro. Hey, you're doing good.
His fellow firefighters recording each day to show him his own progress. And then Avion
That's not
sharing
why
the
they're
videos to
recording.
inspire others to face
Bullshit.
their
Yeah, they're not gonna hold this against him and blackmail him forever.
No, and it's completely unrelated. But if you do go into that firehouse, everybody has the same ringtone, and it's that. Woo!
And then everybody goes, I don't know, is that yours? Is that mine? I don't know who that is. Oh my God.
show him his own progress. And then Avion sharing the videos to inspire others to face their fears. Tonight, those videos now watched by millions. And look at this. Day four, the remarkable achievement.
He's still not good, and like he's so shaky, he's not going to be able to save somebody.
Go lower on the rope.
Avion calm, slow, steady, making
Bring
his
your
way
hands
down.
closer to
The
you.
baby would have died by now.
Right here tonight,
Hi, David.
firefighter Avion Anderson, back on solid ground, back at the fire station.
It's about facing fears, one step at a time. At the end of the day, without my crew, I wouldn't have been able to push through it. So I thank them for the support. That's what being a firefighter is all about. It's getting over challenges.
Well, and making calendars, but
That's true. And maybe he'll be on there. I don't know. I can't judge dudes.
Being a firefighter is all about. It's getting over challenges.
Those firefighters had his back. Now he's got ours.
Oh, okay. So this is so bizarre and strange and funny. It's like an SNL bit. It's like, oh my God. It's like the baker that doesn't like food or something. It's very
doesn't like
strange.
getting their hands dirty.
Yeah. So
Is allergic to gluten.
there you go.
Yeah. Well, I'm very proud of Avian. I think it's very sweet. I'm going to burp. What is that?
She threw her
Every
head back a little
single
bit. And usually what she'll do is she'll burp and talk through it. Now she's gotten to the point where she'll pause. And I don't know, do I edit out the burps or what do I do? I feel like we should just let them go.
I don't know, but I think burp technique is different depending on if you're at home or if you're in public. Like, think about it, right? If you're at home and you need to burp, you just burp. And sometimes it's just one swift movement. It just says hello and it is go, 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 right? It just goes. It's not a big deal. But if you're doing something like, I don't know, recording a podcast, you like try to swallow it and you like, and then like if it does come up, you like blow it out a little bit afterwards. It's like a 2-step burp process. Like you're almost smoking burp.
Well, and let me tell you, previously when you've done this during the show, it's been completely detected because you'll be in the middle of a sentence you'll just be. So anyway, I was going down to the store. And so, yeah, nobody's noticing at all that you're doing that. It's fine.
I should
That
see a
is not your
doctor.
superhero power.
It is not my superhero power, and it's so embarrassing. And honestly, all I've had to drink today is I just drink water.
Yeah, me too.
And so I've just had some water. I have no business to be burping. I don't know what is going on. Anyway, there we go. Complete and utter side quest. But I do feel sorry for Avian, and I am very proud of him. I do think that maybe it's a bit of a stretch. Good news, as we take our swift decline towards Nazi Germany, all of the public services can just start taking amphetamines, and that'll sort him right out.
Paying the drug companies that are government sponsored. That'll work out perfect.
Yep, to create super firefighters that have no fear at all, like what they did for the Nazis.
Until then, Avian is a lawsuit waiting to happen, because if he is the guy that saves you and anything happens, somebody is going to immediately pull up this video and say that he didn't respond fast enough or was too freaked out, and they'll use this as evidence in court.
Isn't there a Good Samaritan law? I heard these lawsuits whizzing around of people who do stuff like give choking fatties the Heimlich maneuver, save them, or somebody has a heart attack and then they give them CPR and break a rib because, newsflash, if you're doing it right, you're probably going to break someone's ribs. Okay? And then they have the absolute fucking gall to try and sue the person who saved their life.
Yeah, I've heard about that a bunch of times.
If there is anything that is more American, I challenge you to tell me about that right now, because that is insane.
America, fuck yeah. Propping up the legal community now.
America.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's outrageous.
Anyway, we can end the show. I think we can end the show because I had my whole pre-show checklist, but then I didn't start the timer on time because I was doing the checklist. I think we have enough show. And really, we have enough show anytime we want because, God damn it, we do what we want. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah. Shut the hell away from me. Oh, did you know that is now a common phrase in our house? Ever since you shared that news item here, my sons say, shut the hell away from me on the regular.
And I am honored by that. And I'm also a little bit ashamed on that because it is one of my favorites. And I feel like we don't play it enough.
Shut the hell away from me.
That old, drunk, just blathered woman getting pulled over.
Shut the hell away from me.
I need to use it more in my everyday life because you're right. You're absolutely right.
It is absolutely fantastic, and I really feel like it's one of the great things to come out of this show.
There you go. We share and care. Everybody have a great week, and tell people about the show, and then tell them to shut the hell away from you, and then they'll get it.
Yeah, and don't forget to get the level out whenever possible.
Level and giant pancakes. Goodbye.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Way to go, brother.